Hello folks, welcome back. So this is just a very brief video about safety. So in Los Cristianos and Tenerife in general, there's been instances of pickpockets, muggings, attacks in general. So just ahead of me is the Paradise Park Hotel, just here on the corner, one of the most well-known hotels here in Los Cristianos. And just on the corner there was an instance of an elderly couple getting robbed. They took their jewellery. Obviously a terrible thing to happen, especially given that they were older, more vulnerable, unable to defend themselves. But my advice would be, if you're coming away on holiday here, leave your jewellery at home. Just don't risk it. But if you do insist on wearing it, bringing it out with you, if you're going to go somewhere at night, or even in the daytime for that matter, just get a taxi. It's not worth the risk. But my advice would be, leave it at home. It's just less of a temptation for those terrible people out there that will rob you without even a second thought. Now, on the subject of pickpocketing, that's been happening for a long time here in the Canary Islands, mainland Spain, all over. Holiday places have always been rife with pickpockets. But again, the reason we hear more about it here in Los Cristianos and Tenerife in general is mainly down to the fact that the British press love a story that whips up a fury, not dissimilar to the protests that have been happening, allegedly saying tourists go home. Absolutely rubbish. All been whipped up by the British press. Yeah, so they love those sort of stories, but the fact is it doesn't happen here any more than it does anywhere else. But you've just got to make sure you keep your wits about you. When you come on holiday, you let your guard down. It's natural, but just try not to, especially when it comes to when you're drinking. Don't drink so much that you don't know where you are or what's going on, because you're not going to be in a position to stop it from happening if it does. If you're out and about, do what I do. So you can see here I've got a rucksack. It's a little fold lightweight one that goes in my case, and if I just pan down, I have a bum bag. So with my bum bag, everything that's of any sort of value goes in there. There's no chance that anybody's going to get inside there, not without me knowing about it anyway. So I have nothing in my pockets whatsoever. So if I go into a shop or I'm in a bar or whatever, there is no chance that someone is going to manage to squeak their hand in my pocket and get anything, because there's nothing in there at all. Everything goes into the bum bag that's of any sort of value. Everything else that isn't valuable, like my power bank, things like that, they go into the rucksack. So just follow those golden rules. Leave your valuables at home in the UK, or if you are going to bring them out with you, make sure they stay in the safe, whether that's in your apartment, in your villa, in your hotel. If it's an additional charge to use the safe, don't even think about it, just pay it. It's like, what, €10 for the week or whatever. It's just not worth the risk. Just keep your wits about you. If you are going to go out drinking, just make sure that you don't get yourself into a state that you don't know where you are or what you're doing. And if you are going to be walking back to your accommodation at night, just stay in the well-lit, populated areas. So I'll give you an example. So if I just spin the camera around, just over there in the distance is the side of Los Cristianos where I stay. At the back of there's a path that brings you out here in this car park. Now, I've used that path many times over the years, but sadly that has now become a bit of a haunt for potential muggers, etc. It's just not worth the risk. It's a shortcut that's going to save you, what, that's 5 minutes on your journey. Just stick to the well-lit paths. Don't go through parks, like for example this one here. In the daytime, easily you can see everything. At night time, not so much. So just don't risk it. Just stay on the well-lit paths in the well-lit areas. Keep your valuables in the safe in the hotel. Make sure that you don't take anything out with you that you don't need. So just take enough cash for the night, maybe just your bank card if that's what you're going to use to pay, and just stay safe. And then that way you'll have a wonderful holiday that isn't going to be tarnished by something terrible happening to you. So just stay safe, keep your wits about you, keep your valuables in the safe if you can, but if you're taking anything out with you that's worth anything, keep it close to you in a bum bag or a crossbody bag, something like that. Just don't invite yourself to be a victim when you should be out enjoying yourself and having a wonderful holiday. So stay safe folks, and I'll see you later.